Do you desire to turn your passion into income? Connect with other creative souls who also dance to the beat of their own drum? I'm Marie-Nicole, and I'm devoted to combining beauty, uniqueness, and connection in everyday living experiences. As a creative professional and Dharma coach, I help people connect to the truth of who they are and facilitate them in embodying their uniqueness. It is my hope in this podcast that I inspire you to live your life on your terms and earn your income through being uniquely you. After all, it's the unique thread that we each contribute to the collective tapestry that creates the whole. The topic of embodiment seems to be presenting itself a lot to me at the moment. As an embodiment coach, it might seem silly to hear me say this. But it's not just been a topic of conversations in coaching sessions, it has also been presented in other experiences, and not always in the area of creativity. With this podcast being based on doing business to your own beat, I can't help but think of how important embodiment is for professionals in general. Stepping into your power and living at your highest expression. Embodiment starts with awareness of self, knowing what enlivens you and what dampens your spirit, what empowers you and what triggers you to feel inadequate, defensive, or unworthy. Not to avoid encounters, but to understand what is behind your response and where you can place your attention and energy to transmute those shadow patterns and to actually empower yourself, as well as an awareness of what makes you feel held and supported, not only by your environment, but by the people that you choose to spend time with and the foods that you consume. There are a range of contributions to what is most supportive and allows you to embody your higher self. Knowing when these aspects needs to change in order to support you in your next iteration of your evolution. For me personally, recognizing what truly lights me up from the inside out is why I continue to produce this podcast, and has led me back to reigniting my handcrafted wares as an income stream. Over the last 18 months since closing my commercial space, I shifted focus away from my artisanal work and focused heavily on coaching and other freelance work, but have decided to make space in my schedule for making as an income stream once again. So I've been slowly reopening product listings on my online store, starting with items that contribute to my days in magical ways, such as my AirPod pouch and my phone pouch with a belt loop on the back, plus a variety of other little pouches. I keep my mobile office bits and bobs in various pouches, like my portable hard drive and the cables and adapters and even in my handbag. One here is actually a little pouch where I keep my pencil shavings in, and I keep a sharpener in there. And I write with a pencil for the most part, so I like to be able to sharpen my pencil on the run. And then there's this 3-in-1 notebook cover that has been such a gift in my daily activities. And it is great because I have 3 separate notebooks in the one leather cover, which is beautiful to handle. Before I had this notebook cover to write most of my notes in my journal, which is just one book. But now I get to separate my notes, and I have one notebook dedicated to my coaching, another one dedicated to the gene keys and dream arc learnings and teachings that I've been studying, and then the third one is for my podcast planning. Now, having these allows me to devote my journal to processing my thoughts, recording my inspirations and intentions, and then use these individual notebooks to help organize my thoughts and take on the things that I want to take action on and want to create or offer. So if you'd like to see what's currently available, I have a link in the show notes to the online store. For those listening on the audio version, I have also clipped a short little video for this part of the podcast and included a link to that so that you can see the handcrafted goods that I'm referring to. Working remotely and having diversified income streams with several branches of my core business, all these items help me work more efficiently and effectively. stay organised and process my thoughts, and especially all of the shifts and changes life presents me with, so that I can continue to grow and expand rather than feel constrained or limited by situations that, while uncomfortable at times, really are opportunities to learn and grow. You may find some of these products made by me with intention and love supportive to you in your daily life and journey too. And these are just some of the products that I handcraft. I will be adding more to the store if you wish to stay informed on new listings, shop updates and other offerings. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. There's also a link for that in the show notes too. But back to the topic of embodiment. I believe it takes you out of your mind and into your heart and body. Not to discount the value of your thoughts, but instead using our thoughts as support to the body's intelligence and intuitive guidance. Different phases and stages of our life's journey requires different ways of being to continue to thrive. When we try to hold on to the old ways of being, we hold ourselves back from transitioning into that next version of our evolutionary journey. We may try to go back to the way we were in our youth and think that picking up where we left off before, becoming something we did not think we would become, but whoever we became is still a part of who we are. So there is no going back really, there's only going forward. So connecting to the essence and the expression of self from your youth and combining that with the wisdom collected from the journey of who we've become is where the magic lies. It's alchemizing our experiences and learnings and then stepping into our current expression of self that gives us our highest expression of self in the now. The journey of leaning into the new for me in my personal and professional life is one of alchemy, that's for sure. And I'm not quite sure what the next highest expression of self looks like, but I'm currently sifting through the rubble of my previous self to carry into the next version, and I'm really tuning into what makes me feel most alive, like I'm living with purpose, and even what frightens me in a good way, because I feel it is stretching me out of my previous skin, preparing for my dragonfly wings to be released and shimmer brightly in the light. After spending the last couple of years beneath the surface tracking down shadow patterns that have not been serving and will definitely not serve me going forward, a part of this has been recognizing situations in various aspects of my life that carry the same underlying themes of constraint or limitation. Recognizing these patterns has allowed me to make different choices, to shift from reaching the same undesired outcomes to welcoming new, more desirable outcomes, which would not be possible without shining a light on those shadow areas that I previously may not have chosen to delve into or explore further. But life does not let us escape this process. It just keeps presenting us with situations that gently or not so gently remind us that in order to thrive, it actually serves us best to explore the nooks and crannies that hold the keys to our growth and expansion. And if we are willing to face those shadow patterns and transmute them, then we get to embody our highest expression of self. Delving into these shadow patterns need not be feared. Doing so is what liberates us and enables us to truly embody our essence, embrace our uniqueness, and live out our highest expression. Western culture has conditioned us to believe that in order to succeed in life, we need to follow the guidelines set out by society. And yet, what I've witnessed and experienced is that when we connect to our essence and engage in what enlivens us, that is what creates the most magical and memorable experiences and outcomes. In episode 48, I shared a reflection on a weekend spent at a creative's recharge retreat, and the last day's activity being a waste to art workshop, where we created sculptures from what would ordinarily be viewed as rubbish. The experience of this activity reminded me of something I struggled with in my uni days back when I was studying art and design. Having to submit process diaries sharing the details of what we planned to create, I would often not know what I was going to create until I started creating it. And this is still often the case. It is as though the creation comes through me, not from me. So back in my uni days, I would document the process of discovery rather than the process of intention to create. Over the weekend, my youngest son and I ventured down to the south coast and visited friends who are all creative professionals, using their skills and talents to earn their income through art, music and leather crafting, and I was gifted some bones from the artist's collection of treasures as I was sharing how I would like to create my feather and leather hairpins with bone instead of wood. Not that all the bones she gave me were specifically for this objective. Some were based more on the fact that as we were sifting through her bone collection, ideas started to percolate that were not related to my hairpins at all. And as I was cleaning the bones the next day, one idea really started to take shape in my mind's eye. Letting the bones reveal to me what they wish to become set me on a quest with two bones in particular, one being of a bird and the other of a fish. And this, with just a little addition of a few extra bits and pieces, I created a representation of our three earthly realms. Now, in the magical teachings of the Dream Arc, we work with animals and creatures from each of these realms. The upper realm being the vision key, the middle realm, the life keys, and the lower realms, the fear keys. And while a crystal, which I added to the bones, may not be a living creature, it does represent abundance. And there's so much natural beauty in our world to see, experience and celebrate, and taking time to really appreciate it, for me, really fills my heart and brings me back into connection with what's truly important for me in this life. The end result was this necklace and pendant. For those just listening, I'm actually holding it up for you to be able to see on the video. Now, I sent a video to the friend who gifted me the treasures, and she responded with, "Wow, I love it. You didn't waste a second whipping that beauty up." Which again took me back to my uni days and the whole process diary dilemma. What I realised over the weekend was how many times I have held back from truly embodying my creative expression from fear of having not put enough thought into the creation that wanted to come through me. I find myself now allowing the inspiration to be expressed and trust that the skills and techniques I have acquired over many years of trying, testing, honing my crafting skills, bringing me to a point where the embodiment of those skills now just expresses itself through me. But this has not come with ease. It has come with acceptance, self-awareness, connection to my essence, and I can tell you many tales of where my creative expression has been deemed frivolous or a luxury and not really necessary. But I have finally reached a time in my life where what I do is not about receiving external validation from others. It's about tuning into what really and truly lights me up from the inside and coming to see that this is my gift to the collective. And setting up a space like this, again for those listening on the audio, you can't see my background, but this is my studio space and it's a shed in the backyard, and I have set this up to support my creative expression because that is a part of who I am and how I'm here to be. That's a part of my embodiment. Your unique expression of your essence is also your gift to the collective. When you tune into how it feels to be doing something the way you think it should be done, in comparison to how it feels when you simply let life be expressed through you, following your intuition and internal guidance, you too will start to notice that you radiate from the inside out. And this does not have to just be about making art. It can also be about self-expression in every and any way you do things in life. This has led me to contemplate the fact that there is more power in a professional artist creating from within rather than with an objective in mind in terms of an ideal customer avatar, which I spoke about back in episode 47. I shared the process of creating your ideal customer avatar. But as an artist, despite the medium of your art, be it painting, music, poetry, metalsmithing, whatever your creative expression, is what your customer chooses to invest in. This is based on how it speaks to them at an emotional level. You are not solving a problem for them necessarily, you are solving a problem for you. The problem being of how to allow your creative expression to come through in your own unique way. Now, there's more contemplation to be done on this, but I just wanted to plant the seed for now and see what sprouts. The main objective of this podcast episode was to share my thoughts on embodiment and encourage you to allow life to express itself through you, rather than seeing embodiment as trying to be something you are not to fit in or to belong. Your unique gifts are what you are here to contribute to the collective with. So take note of the messages your body and intuition are delivering to you. When you feel your heart contract or your stomach tighten, or you notice yourself holding your breath, especially when you're doing something you think you should, in comparison to the aliveness that you feel when you are doing what ignites your soul and fills your heart with pure joy. That is what you are here to embody, and doing so will light you up from the inside and radiate out from you. The flow-on effect being you raise your vibration, which will positively impact those who come into contact with you too. So until next week, be sure to make space for activities that allow life to be expressed through you and embody your inner essence. Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable it is, and I hope you got value out of listening to this podcast. If you are looking for a coach to support and guide you through your own unique journey of creating a life you love, then reach out for a connection call. And if you'd like to connect with other creative souls in person by joining us at a workshop, a retreat, or to book a unique shopping experience here at Creators Nest, I run those by appointment. So check out the website for more details. The link is in the show notes. Oh, and please leave a review. I'd love to hear any insights or inspirations that were activated in you from this podcast. And I look forward to drumming, dancing, or soaring alongside of you.